Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Udeme and I make videos about books, podcasts, anything I love on the internet and just introvert style vlogs. So if that's your kind of thing, make sure you subscribe. But as you can see from the title, today I'm going to be doing a book haul. I've been talking about this for a while and I've wanted to do this video for a while, but circumstances will not let me. But anyway, today I am going to film this video. This is like at 8 in the morning, pretty early before all of the noise of the day starts. And today is 1st of October, which is Nigeria's Independence Day. I have what? How many books? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 books here that I'm going to just go through and just chat with you all about. I haven't read most of it. I think I've read just about 2.5. I'm still reading one. But yeah, I think we should just get into it. The first book that is on my pile over here is Sapajou's book called Swallow. This was our September book of the month for the 3K book club. So we read this book. It was a very short read for me. I think I read it in the first 2 weeks or first week of the month. I was done with it. It was a very short read for me, but it was an interesting book. I think this book is very Nigerian, so if you're a Nigerian woman especially, you're going to enjoy this book. It follows the lives of Tolani, who is the main character in this book, and her roommate and friend Rose, and just their journey in like having when it comes to workplace issues, personal life, and just trying to provide for themselves and their loved ones and wanting better for themselves and all of the temptations that come along with that. I think it's very relatable. That's one thing I would say about this book. Very, very relatable, but it was not a 5-star read for me. I think it was a 3.5 for me, just because I was very disappointed in the I'm not going to give you guys spoilers or anything in case you want to read this. I believe, interestingly, today a Netflix version of this book is coming out today actually, so I think I'm going to watch that to compare it to the book. You know, that's always the thing that we like to do. It's going to be so interesting to watch that movie, but it's very like the themes are like poverty, I feel like female friendships, what else, drug trafficking, sexual harassment in the workplace, that kind of thing. So it's quite a dramatic book to read, and I like that it's from the point of view of the mom and like the main character's mom and the main character herself. I also have to do with I believe like a little bit of patriarchy, not a little bit, a lot of patriarchy, because even the sexual harassment ties into patriarchy. Yeah, those are the themes for this book, and yeah, it's an okay book. It's not like, oh, it's a terrible book. It's okay, but it was not like, it didn't have that oomph for me. So that's the first book, Swallow by Sapajou. Go check out the Netflix movie that is coming out for this book today. The next book on my list is Authentic Mama by Olonosen Louisa Ibahaze. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. I feel like I'm butchering the name, but this is what it looks like. I really, really like this cover. I don't know if you guys can see clearly. I hope you can, but this is what it looks like. Yeah, it's a cute cover. I enjoyed this book more than I expected to. I don't know why, but it's very, the main character is the authentic mama herself. I believe her proper name is Paulina, yes, and they call her Iye Baby, something like that. And this book is set in, oh my goodness, I can't remember, where is Nimbe town, but it gives me Edo State vibes. I don't know why it's giving me that. I can't remember exactly where it is, but I know it's somewhere in the east, I believe. That's where this book is set, and it follows the life and like struggles of this woman called Authentic Mama. She's into like the pimping business, prostitution business, and just her life, where she came from, how she got into that, and where she ended up. It's very dramatic, very good. Like it's a very easy book to read. It's very enjoyable. It's very like the stories that like very exaggerated, but you can tell that these are some people's lives are like, what? Do you understand the competition in her business and all of that, and who she eventually became? Like, it's quite interesting. I can't even lie. It was a very fun and easy read for me. So I highly suggest that you check this out. So this was like a first-star book for me, I feel like. So you guys check this out. Whew, a deep one. We are done with like the easy reads. Well, they are not so easy, but this is 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. I think this book is also it also has a Netflix series as well. It's been adapted into a movie. I haven't seen the movie, so I cannot speak on that. But this book, okay, so this just follows the life of a girl. Her name is Hannah. Hannah commits suicide, and then she sends a cassette to 9 people, and like each person has to pass it along to the next person, and so on and so forth. And if they do not pass it along, she has given a second set of tapes to somebody else to share it to the whole world. And each of these people in these tapes, she tells them that they were part of the reason why she committed suicide, and she explains how. And the main focus is actually on Clay Jensen. He's the main character. Should I say I don't know if he's the main character or like second character, but he's the one who's listening of the tapes that we follow. And you know, he kept wondering, gosh, I'm a good person, why am I on these tapes? Because these people, like, some of them are going to be very embarrassed, either very embarrassed, some of them will go to jail based on the things she's talked about, very embarrassing things. And I like, even though I feel like the language was a bit high school, because I believe this is a college, like it's set in a college like kind of setting, which is like university, yeah, but the language was a bit high schoolish. But I love how she connects each dot. How a particular quote I love in this book was when she said something that the thing about like making comments about people or like saying something about someone's life is that you cannot be precise enough to only make your words affect a particular part of that person's life. You do not know like the ripple effect that your word has in someone's life. So say for example, a common thing, you call someone, oh, you're fat, and it seems like, oh, just a dead thing, you're just, you know, jabbing at somebody, and then the person goes to think about it, start to make changes on their, maybe wants to make changes on their diet, begins to see themselves in a different light, is embarrassed because of that, they are unconscious, self-conscious, maybe they feel like, oh, I'm not worthy of a good person because I did not look a certain way. Like, it has so much ripple effect. So I feel like that is something that was really evident in this book that was really well touched on, and I really enjoyed like reading it, and the suspense that it builds. You know, you keep wondering, oh my goodness, where does Claire come in, and how does it fit into the list? What did he do? Because the idea is that Claire, that listening to the tapes, is a very like cool, good, wonderful guy. So you just want to know, and you want to see how every other character plays in, and it's just there are themes of rape, of course, suicide, just sexual harassment as well. What else? It's just so deep and moving. I feel like I just wish the language was a bit more less high schoolish, but it was very interesting to read. And yeah, this was a deep one. The next one on my list is my favorite. Not my favorite in terms of like favorite out of this list, is not. It's my favorite because John Grisham is one of my favorite authors. Like, it does so good with legal like crime writing. His books was one of the, maybe I'm being biased because his books were one of the first books that ever introduced me into the life of like reading thrillers and like legal criminal kind of style books. So I feel like I'm biased to him, but honestly, reading this book I realized why it is, even though then I was not aware of the reason. His writing style, it's so easy, it's so good. You just, the way he tells 2 different stories and connects them together. And I think he has written, actually yes, he has written a couple of like true crime books that really happened in real life, and I cried. I remember when I was younger, when I read those books, I really cried. I think there are very few of his books that I've not read, like the more current one. Like, this one is practically a little bit more current. Then I think Camino Island and Camino Winds, I've not read those ones, but I'm still in the process. I think more than halfway gone. It's very, very interesting. It follows the life of a lawyer who is accused of a crime, money laundering, and he went to prison, and then he has information that the government needs based on the killing of a federal judge, and just the whole story of that, who is responsible for the crime, how we got the information, you know, the whole becoming a whole new person, like under secret protection or witness protection like services, is just so much fun. I'm enjoying this book thoroughly. So yeah, this is that, and that is all the books I think I read on this list. So now we are going into the ones I have not read yet. So my list is What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky by Leslie Neka Arima, winner of the Commonwealth Short Story Prize for Africa. I have not read this. I've been seeing it making its rounds on Instagram, and I was curious. It says a dazzling, accomplished debut collection explores the ties that bind parents. Oh, this is a short stories book. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, it is. Oh, interesting. That would be an interesting one to read. So we have that. We have Pets. This has also been making the rounds on Instagram, and I absolutely love the cover. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, I think that's better. I love the cover of this book. It's so good. This book, interestingly, is by Akwa Mezi. I don't know if you guys saw my vlog where I talked about her. The first book I read from her, what's the name? Oh my goodness, I hope I remember. Freshwater. Disappointing. Till today, it's still a DNF book that did not finish. I have not finished reading that book till today, and I have like maybe 10 pages or, and I cannot put myself through that. But hopefully this is supposed to be fantasy, in the fantasy genre. Same with this as well, also fantasy. So I'm excited to read this. It says there are no monsters anymore, or so the children in the city of Lucille are taught. Jam and her best friend Redemption have grown up with this lesson all their life. But when Jam meets Pet, a creature made of horns, colors, and claws, who emerges from one of her mother's paintings and a drop of Jam's blood, she must reconsider what she's been told. Pet has come to hunt a monster, and the shadow of something grim lurks in the Redemption house. Jam must fight not only to protect her best friend, but also uncover the truth and the answer to the question, how do you save the world from monsters if no one will admit that they exist? And I think this is also supposed to be like a children's style book, so like young adults, I believe between the age of 13 to 18, that kind of book. So I believe it's going to be very interesting, because I've seen some really good reviews on this. I hope it's not like Freshwater that everybody hyped it and then I was so disappointed. Only to find out that a whole lot of people were also disappointed in the book. But yeah, this should be an interesting one. I'm excited to dive into that, and I love the color. I do not have any books that are purple, so this is a new one. Okay, I've been wanting this book for a while. Born on a Tuesday by L. Nathan John. I love the cover of this book. It's so simplistic but so good. Like, I love the whole like cartoonization. I don't know what that is, but I wanted to read El Nathan's book for a long time. I think the first one I wanted to read was How to Become a Nigerian or something like that. It's supposed to be like a satire style of book, but I did not get it. So this one says oh, it doesn't have a blog. That was interesting. Oh, it has one here, so let's read it. A powerful and engrossing coming-of-age novel about life, friendship, loss, and the effect of extremist politics and religion on everyday life in northern Nigeria and dark secrets. Whilst navigating the hurdles of adult... Oh my god, that's a long one. You get the idea. I'm excited to read this, and I like that the volume is quite much. Oh, I don't like books that are too tiny. Speaking of books that are pretty tiny, our book of the month for the 3K book club, we are going to be reading this in the month of October. It's a very short read. Like, look at how slim this book is. I believe it is how many pages? Let me see. And I think this is also a short stories book, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a story. It's 8 pages. Oh my goodness, I thought the one we read last month was short. That one was, I believe, 200 or something pages. But I love the cover of this book, Jollof Palava. It looks like almost like a magazine about books. I just love it. It looks good. has this type of cover, and you can see a beautiful jollof, which is making me hungry, by the way. And we have the author's image on this side. So this book is by Olubukola Adekusibe. I'm not sure. So this is Jollof Palava and Other Stories. I'm excited to read this. Iyafumi believes her enemies are finally caught up with her when her son goes insane. We all love jollof rice, but when Debola's jollof keeps on disappearing from his stove, he is determined to fish out the culprit in an unconventional way. In a society where DNA tests have become a debate, what happens when a child has no resemblance to his father? Like, I think she's just picking out each of these the stories and giving us like a blog on each of them. So I think there will be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories, I believe. So Jollof Palava is a collection of 20 short stories woven around comedy, tragedy, suspense, and humor. I love that. I'm going to enjoy this. I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy this. So this is our book of the month for our book club. Join us. If you want to join us, DM me on Instagram at Udeme_ and ask for the WhatsApp link and I will hook you up. On to the last book is The Silent Sisters by Diane Shambalane. I don't know. What if everything you believed was a lie? So I picked up this one mostly because of the name, The Silent Sisters. I actually want a book that's called The Silent Patients, but it was not in stock when I wanted it. So I saw this one, I was like, okay, just because of the name, that's all really. But the blog is actually interesting. It says, Riley has spent her whole life believing that her older sister, Lisa, died tragically as a teenager. But now she's starting to uncover the truth. Her life has been built on a foundation of lies told by everyone she loved. Lisa is alive and living under a new identity. But what exactly was she on the run all those years ago? Why exactly actually was she? And what secrets are being kept now? As Riley tries to separate reality from fiction, her discoveries call into question everything she thought she knew about her family. Ooh, sounds so juicy, and I'm excited to dive into it. And the volume is very exciting because it looks much. And the very last on my table, but not the least, obviously, you guys can see this mug. This is the mug for our September box. This is going up to Benin today. It says plot twists and book locks on it. Hope you guys can see. Very cool. Have you signed up for our September box, by the way? I mean, come on. Like, you want to have one of these. You want to have one of these. Anyway, if you do not know what book locks is, it is my small business and it's a book subscription box that merges self-care and books. You discover new books in different genres and we box it up and send you your items. Like, it's the best. So if you're a book lover, definitely check it out. I'm going to leave a link to our August box. We have 3 types in the description box. Whichever one fits your budget, there's something for everyone. I promise you can buy it for a friend and you'll secure their heart. So yeah, that is what you're seeing behind me. But anyway, my last book is The Debutantes by Kathleen Tesaro. It looks like this. I think why I bought this book is because of the title. The title is it reminds me of this 1860s, the 80s and the 60s. Is it the 60s? Or abroad, not in Nigeria, like the whole wallflower type of vibe, you know, coming of age. Very oh my goodness, what's this popular Netflix movie? The Bridgerton style of vibe. That might not be the storyline, but like that kind of time when they were dresses and corsets and Prince Charmings. That's what the name like made me think of. But let's read the blurb. The blurb says, a locked room, a collection of faded mementos hidden in an old shoebox, and 2 strangers reluctantly drawn to one another, cataloging the contents of an abandoned mansion overlooking the sea. But Ensley is no ordinary house. Between the walls, it was the home of Britain's most dazzling debutantes, the Blight sisters, until one of them went missing. Ooh, vibes. This is going to be a good, I believe it's going to be crime related, like thriller type or mystery type book. So I'm also excited to dive into this. And yeah, those are my let's do a thumbnail. Those are my 10 books for the month of this is my haul for the month of October. I cannot speak, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, leave me a thumbs up, and tell me if you read any of these books and what you thought. And I'll see you next week Tuesday in another video. Adios.